Uh, how much does this spring practice sort of begin the auditions for the quarterback of the future with Jack and CJ here? I know you have other guys, but these guys are kind of the future. Are you looking at it that way?
Yeah. I mean, they came in here for a reason, early, to learn and get spring practice under their belt. So there's a lot of guys out there that are here early, 14 guys, really 15, and those guys are here for the first time and they're learning and everything like that. The other part of it is a lot of guys on our team that played a lot of football just based on how the season played out really in those first 10 games. On the second half, a lot of those games they were getting a lot of reps, but certainly for all the guys coming in early, it's a great opportunity to kind of get that going, and this is really important for us. And they've been here now 6 weeks, so they're picking it up good, but it's different once you get on the field.
Front row middle, Dave?
Ryan, I imagine you were extremely motivated last year. First year head coach, people might have been doubting you, everything that was going on. Now with the great season you guys had, the contract extension, I mean, how do you keep that hunger yourself that you had last year?
It's just the expectations, first off, that you set for the whole program, but then that you have for yourself. And our program is all built on fighting and competing every single day to be the best version of yourself, the best version of your unit, the best version of your team. And we know what the expectations are here, and that's part of this thing. And that's when you wake up every day, you know what it is. And we're hungry. We felt like we got a good foundation set underneath us this past season, but we didn't reach all our goals, and so there's still a lot of work to be done.
This might be a better question for later in the spring or even after spring, but the transfer portal, is that something you're going to be looking at to maybe add depth in certain spots?
I mean, we're pretty full right now, but you always have to look at it and be a part of it. I think that it's changed. I think probably even 3 to 4 years ago it was almost like taboo to talk about something like that, but that's the way things are going, and so you always have to keep an eye on it.
Right next door, Nathan from cleveland.com.
Just you've obviously got just a handful of main guys back on defense, and a couple of those guys are out today. Just how are you kind of approaching when those guys can start mixing back in and being a bigger part of practice?
Yeah, just got a few guys nicked up, but they'll be back soon, and we're smart with how we go about this in the spring, especially with a lot of guys who have so many reps. I mean, there's a lot of guys with bank reps, and so that being said, we want to be really smart about when we put those guys back in there and go through it, because there's a lot of preseason, there's the whole summer, and so again, we just got done playing a couple months ago. I was thinking about it the other day. Really, you have January, February, we're March 1st, and here we are. So literally only 2 months ago we were playing. So it's really for the younger guys, but a lot of the older guys have to continue to learn how to become leaders now, because now, like you're saying, some other guys left. Now they need to step up into different roles, and it's different when you're a starter and you're the guy that they're counting on to make plays. So that's a big step for those guys, but it's also for the guys who don't have a lot of reps to kind of get some under their belt. It's really for the development too of the individual player, technique, fundamentals, and learning your craft.
Do you have an opinion right now of where Seven Banks stands? Because obviously he's a guy who really looks the part.
Well, he's got to step up. I mean, it's only 2 months, since we played our last game, and we'll see once we get through the spring if he's willing to take that next step. But certainly he's had a good couple weeks of winter workouts, or a couple months of winter workouts, and he's a guy that we're counting on to step up.
Right behind him, Steven from cleveland.com.
Is the idea with CJ and Jack is to handle their reps from here through fall camp, just how you maybe handled Justin and Matt's situation last year, where you're keeping it as equal as possible?
Yeah, today we were rolling, both those guys and Gunner, they were kind of rolling reps with the twos, and as time goes on, they'll start to all roll reps with the ones as well, and we feel like Justin has enough of his reps, but, Justin still has some things he needs to work on and improve on, but then, we'll kind of let those guys compete for that backup role, and, who knows what happens at the end of spring. My guess is, those guys will just keep working at it, and the competition will go into the preseason, and there's just a lot of growth to be had there, and it's hard when Gunner came in as a transfer, and then those other guys are just coming from high school, so there's a lot of football to be learned, and that's the idea of spring practice.
And with Justin, it's like, I don't want to say free reign with the reps, like if he feels like he wasn't necessarily happy with the reps, he had free reign to kind of keep going at it a little bit more than the other ones, just because he is a starting quarterback here.
No, I mean, he's going to take the reps with the ones, and when we feel like he has enough, then we'll kind of let the other guys go, but he still has a bunch of things that he's really focused on working on and getting better at.
Third row right, Rob from the Dispatch.
Brad, when was the last time you had a starting quarterback in back-to-back
Yeah, I was thinking about that. I'm not,
It's like 9 years.
yeah, it's been at least almost a decade. Yeah, I really can't remember the last time it happened. So it's unique, which is exciting.
What, moving forward with Justin, what's the next step? What do you work at in year two? Not having not seen this situation, what do you do?
I'm proud of his development from where he was at this point last year to where he is right now in practice one. He's come a long way in the pocket, moving in the pocket, seeing things and drop back protection. We have a list of things that he's working on to get better at. But a lot of it is, just learning to play the position in terms of this past season, as time went along, he got more and more responsibility. And now it's kind of year two, so now we spend a lot of time talking about the intricacies of the position, protections, route progressions, coverages, things like that. We can get a little bit more involved and start to explain the playbook a little bit more.
Is that jump first to second year, your understanding, again, having not seen it, like monstrous? They say that jump is pretty big.
Well, let's hope so. I mean, that's the idea, is for it to be big. And I think, when you saw what Dwayne did in that year, or you see what Joe did, there was a lot of years behind closed doors of a lot of work being done in the meeting room, on the field, practice, and then you get to see where they ended up, where it's hard to do that when you don't have all those reps under your belt. And although, you guys and everybody else doesn't see all the reps that are had because they're not games, we practice so much more than we play. And all those reps in practice, 7-on-7 team, red zone, third down, and then the film work, the hours that are spent to improve and understand what's going on, so that when you get to that moment, you're ready to go. And that's been the idea here, and that's where hopefully Justin now can, again, take some of those reps, take those meetings, and now step his game way up.
Front row right, Austin from Letterman Row.
Right from the outside, the secondary just looks like the biggest uncertainty maybe on the roster. When you guys are in here looking at it, what's the feeling, what's the mood about what you have to work with?
Well, I mean, Sean coming back was huge. I think Sean, in my opinion, should be considered, the top corner in the country coming back in all of football. But when you look at that, and then, Cam's coming back and Seven's coming back, you got some decent depth there in terms of reps. And now some of those younger guys are going to have to step up. That's, I think, the next thing. And then, Marcus Hooker and, Marcus Williamson, I think both those guys got reps last year. They have them under their belt. Josh Proctor's, he's been a little dinged up, but we'll get him back. So there's a lot of guys there that got reps, but haven't played a significant role. And I think that combined with some of the younger guys that got to play in, we have Lathan Ransom also coming in, and Cam Martinez as well. So that'll our numbers will be right. Now it's just a matter of, can Ryan Watts and Legend Cavazos and those guys step up to play significant time this year, and that's what the spring's here for.
And so if you were in spring and you're a coach, you want to see them take the next step, the young guys, but you don't have Sean, you don't have Cameron right now, Proctor's out there, now those are the guys you're counting on. You probably wanted them to play in spring. How does that impact a coach's thinking? Does it make you nervous that you can't get them going right now?
Well, I mean, you certainly want them out there, but again, the best thing that happened to us was being in those games last year where they played a lot of football. I mean, there's real football and real evidence of them playing in the Big Ten, which that's pretty unique. So that we do know that at the end of the day, when we put our heads on our pillows, they've played football. Now, we certainly need them to get out there. We need them to improve. We need them to get better. But we also know that that's happened. So, yeah, we want them out there, and we'll get them back out there. So,
Front row middle, Joey from the Dispatch.
Ryan, it seems like slot receiver will be an interesting spot. Just KJ Hill, such a reliable guy there. How do you see that position really kind of shaking out?
yeah, we'll see. We'll see. You're right. I mean, that's a transition spot for us. I mean, last year we used some 2 tight end stuff to kind of supplement KJ a little bit, but we're hoping to get CJ Saunders back. But we also have Garrett in there. We have Demario McCall. We have Jackson. We have Mookie. So we got a couple different guys in there that were out of practice today, and it was good. It was a good day, honestly. For the first day, just seeing those guys play in the slot was pretty natural. So I thought today was a good start. Well, we'll see how we get going through the rest of spring.
How much of an adjustment is it for a guy like Garrett, who played more outside this year than slide?
I don't think it's some guys you put them in there and you're not sure. Today looked pretty natural for those guys though.
And what's the latest on CJ?
So we're just waiting to hear about being eligible in the 6th year, and we'll go back from the NCAA.
Is there a timeline for that?
I believe in April we'll probably have a better idea of some sort of response from them.